I think you're muted.
Yep, you're muted.
Oh. Yep, no. Take your time, Chad. Well, he's getting that ready. I was going to say we had. I thought you might go with the Joe Hendry, Matt, and Jeff Hardy intro instead of just
know,
the
right?
Joe Hendry. I was trying to find that for my background today for the picture, but I couldn't find one just with them on it in the video that they came out to.
I believe in Matt Hardy.
Yeah, and Jeff Hardy.
Yep. Oh, that was so good. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought Emergence Blue Bash in Berlin out of the water. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh God, there was a couple good parts of Bash in Berlin that I liked, but overall, like the ending, and it was just lackluster to me. I think it was just one of those pay-per-views that got thrown together just so they can do something overseas.
Yeah. I understand them not wanting to go up against college football really week one, but it's just like Payback last year, I believe it was. As soon as we're done after SummerSlam, we're just gonna mail it in just like WrestleMania for our next PLE, which I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, me neither. It's getting old, but I think having the month of September off is going to be pretty good for them as far as having Fox, not Fox, SmackDown start on USA and start that progression and, get Roman back. And I think it'll start picking up going into SummerSlam.
You mean going into Bad Blood?
Yeah, Bad Blood. But yeah, but going into SummerSlam, I think they need to start now with building up the story for Survivor Series.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Make the next couple months, actually worth it, as opposed to like the last months in SummerSlam's just been blah between injuries and people taking time off, and which I understand is a good thing. With Triple H in charge now, everyone's saying, having time off to, rest and relax and whatnot is.
Can we hear you now? I think I hear you.
I think I hear you too.
Yep. Okay, there we go. We hear you.
Weirdest thing happened. It connected to my phone and it did something called continuity camera on my iPhone. And I guess it was doing audio through my phone, but not really. That's weird.
That's some Bluetooth, some next level Bluetooth technology right
there.
That's
that Bluetooth 4.7.
I know. What is this? This is wild. But yes, the Hardy Henry thing. Yeah, I need to find that.
Very disappointed that I couldn't use that as my background today. I looked at a lot of places and I could not find it.
Got to Photoshop and make your own.
Yeah, I was sort of up against it today with the time, so.
Oh man,
I should have planned better.
Yeah, to talk TNA a little bit. Yeah, pretty cool little moment.
I was surprised that WWE allowed a TNA superstar to get a win on NXT.
Well, because they had it in the tag matches before.
Yeah, but no one with like a real like straight victory over in a one-on-one match.
Yeah, that's true.
Even Jordan Grace, she lost.
It was a trade with having Riley Osborne win the triple threat to qualify for Ultimate X, probably.
So how long before we see the Hardys? I mean, it's got to be inevitable at this point.
It has to be, but with Sean, you never know.
Yeah, yeah.
The Hardys might not want to come to NXT, though. They might just want to go to the main roster, and that might be where that negotiation is like falling apart.
Yeah.
Did you guys both watch TNA, the pay-per-view yet?
Yep.
I watched the highlights and some of it. I didn't sit down and watch the whole thing.
Yeah. As expected, of course, they seem to be heavily investing in Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler. So it's really interesting to see where they're going with their. I'm betting it'll eventually. I mean, I could see Joe Hendry being the one that takes his belt. So
unless it's JBL.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, yeah. JBL and NXT. I mean, TNA. It's so surprising. It can either be really good or really bad, and lately it's been so, I don't know, random, but good random.
Well, JBL's been making his rounds. The week before Emergence, he was at GCW.
Mm-hmm.
He was also in Mexico, I believe, a few weeks ago.
Yep. Because supposedly he's helping fund, what is it? Is it CMLL or AAA? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's AAA.
Yeah, because he's throwing money there. So I think he's trying to get his name, since he has a name for himself in the industry, I think he's trying to get himself on TV as much as possible to help AAA, have some sort of name in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
One problem with TNA is how many tapings they do at one location. That's why I think the impacts lately have been so lackluster leading into Emergence, because we had I believe it was 2 days of taping in Tampa, and they're doing 2 impacts and 4 explosions, or no, 4 impacts and 4 explosions between those 2 days. So it's how many matches are you going to have the same people wrestle twice in those days?
Yep, exactly. Those guys got to be tired.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, I guess we'll start off with, which one was it? August 26th Raw. That was, we haven't done that one yet. So we'll start with that one. Kind of a pretty good show. Judgment Day defeating the LWO, Damage Control defeating the PFC, the Pure Fusion Collective. A number 1 contender IC title tournament round 1, Jey Uso defeating Kofi and Karrion. Not where, I know we were throwing out theories about that, but we'll talk a second. Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed in a no contest result. That was a good one. Another number 1 contender saw Pete Dunne defeating The Miz and Xavier Woods, and then ending with Uncle Howdy defeating Chad Gable. So highlights from the night. What did you enjoy? What did you like? What did you not like?
The Bronson Reed Braun Strowman match was so good it gave Bronson Reed COVID. I mean,
oh man, some good spots. That's what I've been missing stuff like that. It's good seeing just behemoths just wail on each other. So much fun.
The one thing that I caught in the Bronson Reed match was, after all these years of having like pyrotechnics and setting up cars to be destroyed and blow up and shoot sparklers and all that shit, why are they never timed correctly?
Never. It happens.
Bronson Reed landed on Braun Strowman, and then literally 5 seconds later, the sparkler in the car went off.
They can't even time the lights to when Bo Dallas blows out the lantern most times.
Yeah.
That's been a problem, even going back to Bray. They should just use an oil lantern, I think, and just have a little thing in it to cut off the feed of the oil. It would just make it more realistic and better.
But he's the one controlling the switch, though, on the bottom of it. It's battery operated.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you gotta time it right. That way, if you blow it out, it either goes out or it doesn't.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like they blow on it and then wait a second and then turn it off.
A pretty good match for a ring debut. I don't remember where I read it, or a re-debut, I guess you could say, or maybe it was the announcer. Someone that night said something like, "I've seen Bo Dallas wrestle, and this isn't Bo Dallas." I can't remember where I heard that, but good presence in the ring too. I mean, very different from his style in the past. Like I think it went over very well.
The only thing that's turning me off with his debut and with the whole Wyatt 6 thing is, I understand the nostalgia with Bray Wyatt and wanting to pay tribute to him, but overdoing it washes out a lot of it. Like, I understand he wanted to do a tribute to Brody Lee, but he did the whole yeah thing way too much.
Yeah.
I understand like once or twice, but doing it over and over. And the one tribute I did like that they did was the whole dance in the middle of the ring. That was good. But some of it is just, to me, starting to get a little much and taking away from their own ability and their own characters, because they're trying too hard to give that respect to Bray Wyatt, which I understand, but they need to tone it down just a little bit, in my opinion.
Maybe that's to come. Maybe they're trying to establish themselves as like, hey, this is where we came from and who we are. And then maybe they'll be like, okay, we need to branch out a little bit. I don't know. It would make sense though. I mean, most people know who Bray Wyatt is, but a lot of fans came in, during the Cody and Rock thing. So a lot of new fans don't know who that is. So
but
then again, if they're new people, they don't need to know all that. So I don't know. Maybe they'll branch out more in the future and start to like do something different, because I mean, fan service is cool, but like too much fan service can be like, okay, we get it. Like we know, we get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can handle a loss soon too.
Yeah, I think we're going to see him lose next Monday night.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what you want, because you don't want him to be like completely unbeatable. I know they've done that in the past with characters, like, and they'll turn on you. Like with Goldberg, people turned on Goldberg. You know, I mean,
Yep.
Wait, they had to be on his side in order to turn on him. Did Goldberg ever have real friends?
Hey, I attended WCW shows back in the 90s, and the crowds blew the roof off the place when Goldberg would come out. Like,
oh God, I grew up in Virginia Beach, so we had the Norfolk Scope, where all like WCW is at. I swear, like once or twice a month.
Yeah, constantly there.
Yep, it was Ric Flair's home away from home from Charlotte.
Yep.
And I remember seeing Goldberg wrestle in like house shows.
Yeah.
When he first started, when he was like 10-0 and shit. And like, I didn't even like him then.
For every house show they'd add on that he had a victory, they'd add on like 5 wins to his streak.
God, I know, right? It's like, all right, it's been a week since he was on Nitro. He's got 7 wins since then. Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah.
He was at home on the couch winning matches. Let's go.
on his Nintendo 64. That's what it was.
Pretty much.
His creator wrestler was doing very well.
He was playing that WCW versus the world.
Old school.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though. There's one guy who's making me like Goldberg a lot more now, and it's Bret Hart. When someone becomes insufferable, I usually gravitate to the other side, and I'm starting to do that. I'm starting to want to see Goldberg back in the ring with Bret Hart.
I know. It's like I didn't know, man. So much beef.
Oh God, I don't understand it. Like Bret Hart has not shut up about that since like 1999. It's been.
Yeah.
I think it's just because he came into WCW and like didn't go over as well as everybody thought he was going to. Yeah. And maybe he probably has a lot of jealousy for Goldberg. Like I get it.
But
you're Bret freaking Hart.
Yeah, I don't think it was that he didn't get over. It was that WCW signed him just to bury him. They wanted to just show WWE that, hey, we can take your guys and we're not going to do shit with them. You may have made them big stars, but we're going to make people forget about them.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
Anything else you have from Raw? We'll go to NXT.
Odyssey Jones.
Yeah.
Not to make light of the subject on why he was removed from the WWE roster page and probably why he might not be seen for a while, but
I read like alleged domestic abuse was I think what I saw. Okay.
So
alleged.
I'm wondering, like
so
now,
we'll see.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering now where they're going to go with that storyline, but we'll talk about that more when we get to this week's Raw, last night's.
Yeah. That does tend to happen, though. I mean, you saw with Rich Swann, like they'll cut ties with you real fast over that stuff. Like
they only suspend. Oh, well, you're talking about Rich Swann, WWE. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the next night we saw NXT, The Fatal Influence. Sounds like a porno. Defeated the Metaphor. Carmen Petrovic defeated Izzy Dame. The Family defeated the No Quarter Catch Crew. Wendy Chu chooses Jordan's opponent. Kalani Jordan defeated Rosemary, that's great. Okay. Brooks Jensen defeated Malik Blade, and Joe Coffey defeated Javon Evans. So Rosemary.
Yeah.
She didn't bring the bag of weapons out with her either. Why did WWE not let her do that? It's not like she uses them on anyone.
I've always been a Rosemary mark, though. I
like that team. Both of them together, they have that. Both of them have that dark character. So I kind of like them together. I think they should do it. Just form a tag team and go after the tag titles.
I've been trying to figure out who Wendy Chu reminds me of for the longest time, and it came to me this weekend. I was in a McDonald's, and they have a bunch of new Hello Kitty toys, and I was looking at them, and I saw the Kuromi one, and I was like, oh, she's like a emo Hello Kitty. Like that's what that reminds me of. Like the dark one of all the Hello Kitties. That's what she makes me think of.
True. Never thought of that.
Yeah. So I mean, not a bad show. NXT though, it's so consistent that like anytime you talk about it, it's never like you can be like that was a bad one or a great one. It's just like it's always good. It seems like I don't really ever have a complaint about NXT. Like top to bottom, it's always a really good show.
Yeah, very safe booking, simple but effective storytelling. They just don't want to take too many chances with up and coming talent, and I don't blame them. I think it's a good, safe approach.
If all else fails, have Pete Dunne there.
Yeah.
Or have Joe Hendry do a concert.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
That was cool. I like that. I definitely need more of that in my life.
He actually got some talent. Gotta give it to him.
Yeah. He's so over. Like, I'm still surprised, but not surprised. I'll get to it later, but I don't know. He's gonna be a big deal. I am pretty sure he's a lock for the Royal Rumble. Like, there's not a chance he isn't in the Rumble.
Speaking of that, I didn't like that pop that he got in Denver. I thought it would be much more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at it a number of ways, and it's like, people go to NXT shows, or there's a good assortment of people who are WWE fans who are not familiar with NXT, because I've been to some NXT live shows, and people go to them when they're in town because the WWE moniker is there, and they may not know what NXT is. Yeah. So I'm thinking they're going there to expect the big names they see. A lot of people only watch pay-per-views, and some just may not be familiar with them, which I don't know at this point how you're not. Like, I have friends who don't watch wrestling who see his stuff on TikTok. Like, he's kind of everywhere.
There's some people that, like I've heard, that are saying that he's been pushed too much, and they're starting to get over the whole gimmick. But I'm not.
Give me a heel Joe Hendry who's singing songs like the Rock. Yeah,
that would be perfect.
Oh man, that'd be so good. Oh man, yeah. I don't think it'll happen. I think he's going to be like a Cody. He's going to be perpetually booked as a face for the foreseeable future. So he's the underdog. You got to cheer for him. Like,
yeah.
So,
he needs to finish his story.
Any other things from NXT, or we'll move to SmackDown?
Not that I could pinpoint.
Okay, SmackDown, August 30th, we saw LA Knight defeating Ludwig Kaiser to retain the title. Los Garza defeating Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews. Carmelo Hayes defeating Andrade for the forever feud. And Nia Jax defeating Michin in a street fight. I've been meaning to ask you guys, so how'd you feel about street fight?
I liked it. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a decent match compared to what they would have put on without a street fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you coming around to Nia Jax as the champ?
I literally thought Michin was dead.
Yeah.
I literally thought that chick's face was crushed inside that trash can.
Yeah. Oh, poor lady. I like that Ludwig Kaiser's getting a lot of play, though. I mean, he was kind of buried in Imperium as just kind of the background guy, but it's cool he's been getting some matches.
Huge pop for him too. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. The inevitable feud, maybe turn him on Gunther, I think would be a good program.
With him being on SmackDown, I think they're going to end up doing Kaiser versus Vinci when he comes back.
It'd be a good, I could see it. Wait, why is Ludwig on SmackDown?
He was only there for that night because I think what I've figured out is with these shows is when they do the internationals, instead you can't think everything's going to happen at the PLE. They know the go home shows weren't a success, especially that one before Backlash. So now they're going to give you multiple championship matches on SmackDown the night before, and then you're going to get your PLE. So I think it's just a better way to even it out, so you get two good shows instead of just a meaningless go home show.
Because it was from Berlin and he's from Germany. Gunther is from Austria, but he's actually from Germany. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just put that together. Yeah. And since it's an open challenge, I guess the roster rules don't really apply. So that I follow that a little bit better.
We're already 3 months post draft, so the roster rules don't apply anymore anyway. If it's anything like the last couple of years, no one gives a crap.
I wonder if they'll do another one before the Netflix move. That'd be kind of quick, but it would be interesting.
Yeah.
They only did the last one because they wanted to have it the same week as the NFL draft. It was stupid. Yeah. There was no need for a draft then.
Yeah. No. Not many people moved, and it just was dumb.
Okay, so that covers that. Now we can talk about the fun stuff. Let's move to Bash in Berlin. So Cody, of course, defeated Kevin Owens. Bianca and Jade defeated the Unholy Union to get their tag titles back. CM Punk defeated Drew McIntyre in a strap match. Damian and Rhea defeated Dom and Liv in a mixed tag. and Gunther defeated Randy Orton. I guess we'll just go top to bottom. We'll go bottom to top. How good was that match with Gunther and Randy Orton?
I wasn't a big fan of it. I'm not gonna lie. It was outside of the strap match. I was pretty bored by all of these matches.
Yeah, the mixed tag match was okay.
Okay.
I liked the fact that they did give a spot with Rhea and Dom, but other than that, other than the strap match, I just wasn't entertained. I wasn't sports.
You were not sports entertained.
Yes, I was not sports entertained.
Can we allow Liv to get some offense too? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, she got no offense in the match whatsoever.
Oh yeah, I was just dumbfounded by that. You have the women's champion in there, and she got like literally nothing.
Yeah,
she got washed the whole match.
That's what I read. A lot of people say that's a way to make your women's champion look weak.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
I was telling my friend that I was like, it was just dumb. I don't understand why they did it.
The main match I had issue with was Cody and Kevin. Like, of course, I don't know if anybody saw it on Twitter or not, but yes, Cody saw our one of our marching bands here in Arkansas. There was a whole thing, very exciting for us to get some play. But I don't know storytelling wise why that match had to happen and not have much of an outcome that would build to something else. I don't know. It didn't make much sense to me.
Long-term booking.
I don't think it was long-term booking. I think it was because Kevin is so over with the international audience. They needed him there, and they didn't have anything for him.
Would make sense, yeah.
So they didn't really have much with Cody because, again, the bloodline wasn't there.
Yeah,
because I think the half the Tongas can't get into Germany, so they need
to start doing better background checks on people.
I know, right?
If I have to
let them in.
I have to get a thorough background check to drive Uber. Like, come on.
Yeah. Send them to the U.S. embassy over there and just give them freaking diplomatic immunity and let them in the country.
Well, just have the show at the embassy.
There you go.
Book it.
They have the pull to get them pre-authorized by the governments. They book so long in advance, and they work with the politicians to book these shows. Whoever the commission is in their area, they can easily get these people into these countries. They did it in Canada. I don't see why they can't do it in the rest of them.
We did it during the pandemic. We could do a U.S. embassy on the roof match. And pretend we throw someone off, and then they show the helicopter view, and it's like 3 feet down.
Oh my gosh! I could do a whole show on the pandemic era. There's just so much to unpack, like the losing an eye and the rooftop match, and just
what about the Money in the Bank match?
Yeah,
that was the rooftop match, the Money in the Bank match, when he threw, who was it, Rey Mysterio off the roof, but then they showed the helicopter view, and it was like there was pads, and it was like literally like a 3-foot wall.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they threw him off the roof. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. You kind of have to suspend disbelief, but not that much.
Yeah, I can't do that much.
So
but then zombies during that zombie match they had with the Miz. That was see, I could do it in a whole show on the pandemic too.
It was so interesting. Did you guys ever get in the Thunderdome?
I did once, but literally it kept lagging and it kicked me out.
Yeah, I think I got in like maybe one or so, but yeah, I didn't have nothing on TV. Yeah. What do you guys think about the ladies getting their tag titles back? It's kind of surprising to me. Like they didn't. I mean, good to let them have a run, I guess, coming off of the international show. So it's good they had the belts for a while. But like, I don't know. I mean, unless they're doing it to build a story where they're going to turn on each other, I think the only thing I can think of.
I agree with you 100%.
That's I do too. They're pushing this whole best friend thing because in one of the promos, she was like, "It's like we're best friends" and all that stuff. It's like
as soon as you say that, it's like you already know what's going to happen.
Yep. They need to, and I said it before, I'm getting sick of these breakup tag teams because they want to feud with each other. Gimmicks. It's like
you don't have to do that. Just let them feud with each other. You don't need to just write the story. You don't need to break them up. Just send people to fight with each other. You write a different story. Like, hey, I don't like you. I don't like you either. Let's fight. There, I just wrote a story.
And then I don't understand the whole let Unholy Union lose the tag titles, and they're supposed to have a rematch clause, but no, let's throw them into a match on Raw to see if they can become the number one contenders. It was like, that was weird to me.
They might have had to cut out Odyssey Jones's segment too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'm glad is it seems like they're moving on from CM Punk and Drew. Like that's the vibe I'm getting. So I'm hoping that's the case.
After Bad Blood,
yeah,
because rumors are right now that their final match is going to be at Bad Blood. I'm in a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And I do like how we'll talk about it, the issues on Raw, but yeah. I like how he came out on Instagram last night. He's like, I have the real bracelet. We demolished a fake one. Everyone was so worried about that damn bracelet.
WWE Shop is missing a major opportunity.
Oh, yeah. They could sell those bracelets all day.
Yeah.
And Triple H said it's a 50-cent bracelet. That's a centerpiece of a major storyline. It's like a 50-cent bracelet could make you probably $10 to $15 a piece.
What did you guys watch the post show, the press conference?
No.
Oh, go back and watch it. Yeah, Cody. From what I gathered, Cody ran that. So, company guy. That's a top guy right there.
Yep.
I stopped watching those after I heard they feed all the reporters the questions.
The Vince questions. Oh, you just go back and watch it for that. Like, ugh.
They want to nail it into you to make sure that they're distance from them.
And they want to make sure that you watch the Netflix.
That's what I was just about to say. They wanted to keep the Vince in front of everyone's mind. So when the thing starts on the 23rd on Netflix,
I think so. Yeah, I'm very curious to see how that goes.
And it's not run by WWE though. It's not a WWE documentary.
I would have rather see Vice do it.
Yeah. But supposedly, from what they're saying, is it's going to be like in depth, and it's all about the sex scandal.
I don't get how you can make a documentary about that when it's still actively ongoing, unless you're trying to just absolutely give a guy a hatchet job to try to speed up an investigation. It's just, I don't get, unless you're making a documentary strictly about his booking scene, he's no longer booking a show. I don't get how you can make a documentary about him or what's going on when we're still in the middle of it.
You got to think, though, WWE has a pretty good deal with Netflix. So even if they're not running the deal, like, there's got to be some back room, like, hey, don't kill us with this thing.
Yeah. Kill Vince, not us.
Yeah.
And I don't think Netflix would allow them to have that documentary if there was a lot of in-depth stuff on current WWE guys.
Yeah.
That's probably why they didn't let Vice do it, because Jericho and the AEW guys all have that in with Dark Side of the Ring, so they would probably absolutely slaughter WWE if Vice did it.
Well, I don't know if you saw that one they did about, what was it, Black Saturday? I can't remember which one it was. It was something like that. Whenever Vince took over the local markets and all that stuff, they did not hold back. I mean, they were pretty they were very accurate about the story, but they didn't hold back. Like,
yeah. Just like the one Vice did about the that plane ride with Ric Flair.
The plane ride from hell. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they didn't hold back that one either.
If you guys have not seen any of these Vice, go watch them. There's a lot of I've skipped some that I just didn't really have much interest in watching, but there's some pretty good ones in there that they actually are pretty interesting. I mean, even The Rock's WCW thing was good. I enjoyed it. I saw stuff that I didn't know when I was watching that, so I mean, I'd learned about the Bret Hart Goldberg beef. I mean,
yep.
Yeah.
Something new.
The plane one you were talking about there, I think that was JR a lot. He wanted to distance himself from that whole situation. So he wanted to come out and just say, basically, I'm basically the guy supervising over these, but the head guy in charge was the one who made the decisions. Like how Flair didn't get fired, seeing he was a made man already.
And that whole thing screwed Ric Flair too, because he was about to debut in AEW right during that time, because he was there was rumors he was going to debut in AEW with Andrade.
I remember that, yeah.
And that documentary came out, and Tony Khan distanced himself from Ric Flair for a while because of it.
Yeah, not good for the man's reputation. But Ric Flair, it's like you kind of know that about him. I mean, a lot of that shouldn't be news to a lot of people. It's messed up, but like a lot of people should know that about Ric Flair. He's a skeezy dude. Wrestling wise, one of the greatest of all time, but like personal wise, he's a skeezy dude.
Yeah, you can tell just by looking at him.
Yeah, because they dropped their sponsorship with Woo Energy, I believe it was. 2 after that, but just like I know I've said in the past, if Vince gets cleared to have him come back as an on-screen character, I saw that he is in bad health. He is not going to provide anything to the show if that's the case. So dead that idea, I'm all set on it. With Ric Flair, you had your last match already. You're not, unless you're just going to go back and book something. I don't think you're going to bring any value on screen at this point in your life.
Yeah, he'll do it. He'll bring value in the indies because it's Ric Flair.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
That's it. People want to pay for his autograph so they can sell it on eBay. That's it.
Yeah. Because I have a ton of Ric Flair action figures I wouldn't mind getting autographed. So, I wouldn't sell them, but it'd be cool to have them. Let's see. So we talked about that.
One more
thing. Any other things from the show you have, or?
I just want to say one thing on Flair quick. I don't know who it was in the sub, but someone was telling bad stories they had about wrestlers, and I guess he did something for Ric Flair, and Rick went to go tip him, and he had this big wad of cash, he said, and there was like hundreds, 50s, 20s, and everything. He goes and finds the $1 bill and gave it to him as a tip.
What a dick.
I always remember seeing that in the sub. That stuck with me. I'm like, wow.
I worked in pizza for a long time, and I was a delivery driver for most of like my younger years. And one of the things I always saw was like, you would think if you're going to deliver to like a really big, nice house or something like that, where somebody spent like hundreds of dollars or maybe $100 on food or something, like, yeah, they're rich. They're gonna give you a nice tip. They never do. And there's always that phrase is they got rich for a reason. They don't give it away.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, this is what I've been looking forward to of the whole week. My highlight, NXT No Mercy. Yesterday or day before yesterday, September 1st. Fraser and Axiom got their titles back from Chase U. Zach Wentz defeated Wes Lee. Kalani Jordan defeated Wendy Chu to keep the North American Championship. North American champion men's Obafemi defeated Tony D. Women's champion Roxanne Perez defeated Jada Parker. And the disappointment of the night, Ethan Page, NXT champion, defeated the People's champion, Joe Hendry.
The ending to that match was trash.
Yeah. I saw some people were saying online, like, I didn't think he was going to win because he's not a WWE guy. He's not an NXT guy. Like, they weren't going to give him the title, but like, why? Why not? I mean, he's all over the place.
That's kind of what I thought too, is I don't think WWE felt comfortable giving it to him since he's still wrestling in the indies.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want a possibility of the NXT championship showing up in the indies where there's possibility of AEW guys being there.
Yeah.
I think that might be why, but they could have done the ending so much better.
Mm-hmm.
You just reminded me with that too. In that women's tag match at Bash in Berlin, Isla Dawn's foot was under the rope, and we didn't address that at all last night.
Nope.
And so, if Joe Hendry's foot's under the rope, literally the night after, why would we make a big deal about it, especially when Trick's trying to get him the championship?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Man, and his entrance was good. Like, I saw somebody comment online. It was on YouTube. I was watching the video of it again on YouTube, and somebody commented, and I went back and rewatched it, and they were like, you can tell he's emotional doing this. So I went back and rewatched it, and like, yeah, it looked like he was kind of getting choked up a little bit. Like, he was pretty jazzed, because you got to think that's probably the biggest crowd he's performed in front of.
Yeah, definitely. 100% the biggest crowd he's ever been in front of. Because TNA doesn't draw that crowd, and then his, like, the promotions in England don't bring that much. He never wrestled in New Japan.
No. So pretty exciting for him to have that moment, I bet.
Yeah.
Now the $26,000 question is, who is going to defeat Obafemi?
Tough one.
Omos.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing in my head, but I wasn't going to say it because I know it's not going to happen. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, because I mean, at this point, he's beaten like everybody, and that's the problem with long reigns, is when somebody finally wins, it's not believable. That's the only problem with these really long reigns.
Okay, I got an idea. Cutler James wins the breakout tournament and then cashes in on Obafemi.
Never going to happen. Maybe the biggest story in the history of professional wrestling. It would have been like, what's his name? Kurt Hawkins winning the Money in the Bank case and then becoming the champion. No disrespect to Brian Myers, but
Obafemi loses to Pete Dunne. That's it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Tony D getting it though. I like what he does with Prestige. I think it would have been cool.
That was a great match between the two of them. I would love to see them run that back.
Yeah. Omos is a big guy that can wrestle. Like you don't see that very often, but or not
You know,
Omos.
Obafemi. Yeah, I was
Omos.
going to say Omos.
Was,
So much.
Moss wrestle? What?
Like his matches are always really good.
Obafemi and Wes Lee would be a good run back.
Obafemi is going to be their new Brock Lesnar, I think. Very similar styles. You can use in the same way, and Brock's getting older, and we might not see him again, to be honest. So I think that's a perfect guy to replace him right there.
Obafemi's more athletic.
Yes, I agree. Sure. Less steroids, that's why.
Yep.
Apparently, there was a rumor yesterday about Omos being released from WWE. I missed that. No, yesterday. Apparently, that was a rumor. And he replied on Twitter about it with 3 blue hats.
Is he still there?
He's apparently still there.
He's on the roster page still.
I thought he got released a while ago.
Yeah, I know. It's his last quote. He said, on the Battleground podcast, he said, "Hopefully, I get to have a match at WrestleMania." Well, there's where you went wrong. At WrestleMania, that is always my goal every year, to be on that card. It's always my biggest goal every year. Keep dreaming, I guess. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're going to do much with him, which is sad. He's a big dude. Like, I think probably the best that I've seen with him was with MVP. MVP kind of makes people more interesting to me. So I think that whole angle worked really well. So I mean, I think he has potential. I just don't think he lived up to that.
Yeah.
Each week we'll get putting more fuel on the flames of what MVP originally tweeted. Like, I know we don't know for sure what happened with Odyssey Jones, and they're just rumors, but this is looking more true day by day, because even Bobby Lashley came out on a podcast and say that he preferred Vince over Triple H. And to say that stance right now, you can get a lot of heat for that, especially going over to AEW where they can't stand him, which I'm sure he'll sign with eventually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, apparently, I mean, I read this not too long ago, but apparently he's been in communications with them or something like that. So, I mean, I think it's inevitable that he's going to be in AEW. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. I mean, you can't. He's still got a lot of potential. He's not going to go to TNA. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him in TNA, but since they're tied to WWE, I don't think they'll do it. Yeah. So, I think AEW is kind of where he's going to hang his hat, so to speak. So,
yep. I think the same thing.
Yeah, to do a little.
And to hear someone say that they liked Vince over Triple H, like, you don't hear that backstage right now in the locker room. Everyone's praising Triple H and how they're running things now that they've been bought out by TKO.
A question, kind of non-related, is: do you think they're going to let Jack Perry take the championship from Daniel Bryan? Like,
no.
Is he going to be a transitional champion?
No, absolutely not.
Oh no. They're gonna. Tony Khan has like this raging hard on for Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
or Bryan Danielson. My bad.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think. I think he'll be a champion going into like next year.
Okay.
I think you'll see that belt come off him probably around Wrestle Dream. I don't think they're gonna have him go that long, because I know he's working on a handshake deal right now, but we only got another like three months left of the year, so I think he'll drop it before the year's over, just because of contractual situations. He wants to have that surgery probably before the holidays, I guess, too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so MJF was the longest champion at 406 days. They don't really do long title runs. I mean, prior to that, there were 2 others that were about at a year. That was Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega, but everyone else other than that has had less than 200 days as champion.
CM Punk's still the champion.
Yeah.
Oh, duh.
I believe there's only been 9 AEW champions now.
Yes.
Now after.
Because
Swerve
Strickland, when he came out at All In, had the shirt that said 8th champion.
Oh my gosh.
I love Swerve. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the business right now. I'm surprised how underrated people think of him. And then on top of it, I just can't believe that WWE fumbled the ball with him. He is just so talented in the ring, promo, and everything.
And he just re-signed a 5-year deal with AEW too.
Huge deal, I heard. I don't know the exact number, but
they said it makes him the 2nd highest paid wrestler in AEW.
Yeah, behind MJF.
Yep.
Man, Tony Khan's dad's got to be at some point like, dude, chill on these
For real.
contracts. Like,
You're
you
not
can't.
making money.
It's like we saw it with WCW, and it's like they're following the same things, like these deals and these contracts. Like, can't do it.
Yeah, when you're biggest pay-per-view of the year, there was 46,000 people in attendance, but there was 53,000 tickets sold, and they did 7,000 people that they just gave tickets to that didn't show up.
That was going on here before our show. I had a friend that worked in local radio, and he told me they were giving out just bucketfuls of tickets.
Oh, there was there's two websites, VetTix for military veterans that I'm on, and then my brother-in-law's on it's the same company. It's First Responders. A lot of concert venues and NASCAR and all that stuff. They'll donate tickets to this site to give away to vets and first responders. And AEW, when they come here, always on there giving away tickets.
I did not know. Interesting. Good for them.
On the radios too around here, they have.
But they're giving away tickets because they don't have people. They're not selling. That's what a lot of. That's what a lot of. Yep, that's what a lot of concerts do. If they have a bunch of extra tickets, they'll donate them, but it's only if they're not selling.
Red Sox notorious for that.
Yep. Oh, those are on there, and there's New York Yankees tickets have been on there a lot recently too.
I'm not looking forward to the inevitable difficulty of getting Oasis tickets next year. That's going to be a challenge.
Be ready for those dynamic prices.
I heard that on CNN today. They were talking about it. Like, people logged on and they were like $100 at the time, and then after waiting 6 hours, they were at like $400 a ticket or something like that. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah, they do it with WWE too. They have like I forgot what they call it on Ticketmaster, but if a section is selling more tickets, they have a select number of seats in that section that they can jack the price up.
Yeah, there's very few things I'd pay that much money for. Like, I paid around that much for WrestleMania tickets for like good seats. I'd probably pay that much for Oasis tickets. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I probably would, because there's every now and then those once in a lifetime things. That's one of them. It'd be like Talking Heads getting back together and doing a tour. Like, I'd pay that much for that. I mean, if it's like something like Chris Stapleton or something who's touring constantly, like, no. But once in a lifetime, yeah, I might do it. If Arkansas gets pay-per-view at some point, because we're getting some love now from the champ. Yeah,
it's not like you would be spending the money on Oasis tickets though, because they're probably not going to stay together long enough to actually have the concert.
That's what I was curious about. I wonder if Ticketmaster is going to publish their ticket insurance rates for this show, because they're probably through the roof.
For everyone listening, if you just look at these events, buy the tickets, and then sell them, you can make some good money off of it. Trust me.
Oh yeah,
and that goes for any event, not just this.
Oh no, I know a guy. That's his job. He's a ticket reseller. That's all he does.
What happens if you buy tickets from someone and then the concert's canceled? How do you get the refund?
I don't know if StubHub guarantees stuff, or
as long as it's digital, they get transferred to your account, so they just refund the account. But because it's very hard to actually get physical tickets anymore, you rarely.
But that would suck if they're like $125 tickets that you buy from a reseller for like $1,000. And then they cancel it, and you only get $125 refund.
Yeah, usually they as long as you do it through their website, in which a lot of tickets they make you do it, they usually will just give you the resale value.
Well, because sometimes you can go on Craigslist and pay someone through like in cash for tickets, and they'll just transfer them to your Ticketmaster. Then you're screwed.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man, I will be getting the insurance though if they make it this long. I'm not hopeful that I'm maybe 10% sure that the U.S. tour rumors will happen next year. The closest one to me is like Chicago. So
just come up to Boston. You can stay at my house, and we'll go to the concert together.
There we go.
It's at Gillette Stadium.
Yeah,
where SummerSlam's going to be next year.
Hopefully,
yeah.
Oh,
I've heard England too.
I would love
New England or England.
Yeah.
I want to show. I just want another show in France. Like, at this point, I'd fly overseas to go to one if they did another pay-per-view in France. just the crowd, it still tickles me thinking back to that one. That was like one of the most fun events I've watched in a long time. Like lackluster booking, but the crowd just made it better.
Yeah, France and Puerto Rico were two of the loudest shows that I've seen in a couple years.
I know Randy Orton talks about it now. He's like, y'all finally started singing my theme song. Like,
yeah.
After
you can tell he gets
years.
into it too because they come out. But did either of you catch at Bash in Berlin when Randy got up on the top rope to do his pose thing, and he looked at someone in the crowd and said, "What the fuck?" And then he did his pose. It was weird. I still don't know. I haven't seen anything on why he looked at someone and said that.
He calls people out like that all the time. Like, you know, the guy who dresses like a Macho Man in the crowd?
Macho Man guy.
Yeah, he goes up to him a few times. He's like, "Do you dress like that normally?" And then he just walks away.
So I guess we'll wrap up with last night's Raw. Actually, no, we'll run through these real quick. Okay, so
bypass Cutler James.
NXT Level Up. Wolfgang defeated your next NXT champion, Cutler James. Hank and Tank defeated Uriah Connors and Cale Dixon. Over on main event, Dante Chen defeated Skylar. Over on NXT main event, Dante Chen defeated Skylar Clinton. Riley Osborne defeated Malik Blade. I guess the main thing, though, on Speed, Andrade retained his title. Exciting. Good for him.
He beat Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Butch. I still cracked the hell up when she said that last night. She called him Butch.
Quick question. Who were the guys in the hoods that approached Uriah Connors on Level Up? No one online really knew who they were. From what I saw, there wasn't like much on it, obviously, because it's Level Up. But it wasn't the Motor City Machine Guns. But I was looking to see. It was two like hooded guys.
I don't think they'd have the Motor City Machine Guns.
That's what I thought too. Exactly.
No, you don't mask them; they show up as is.
They're just going to come out and kick ass.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I guess over to Raw then to wrap up. American Made defeated Alpha Academy. Interesting to see that finally happen. Shayna Baszler defeated Zelina Vega. And then the IC tournament, we had round one. Dragunov defeated Dominic and Dragon. And then we had the later round, Braun Strowman defeated Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Then we had number one contenders for the Women's Tag Team Championship. The Unholy Union defeated Damage Control. And then Damian Priest and Jey Uso defeated the Judgment Day. So I liked Raw. I thought it was really good. One of the better booked Raws, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Better than Bash in Berlin.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Oh. I guess American Made, are they maybe moving on from the Wyatts? I don't know.
Maybe after next week, but not before then. I think they'll just do that. What is it? This mixed tag match street fight or something. They'll do that, and then they'll just they'll move on to maybe burying the Alpha Academy and Morris to get some wins under their belt. But one question I have for you guys: did you think Rhea Ripley was going to go to Jey Uso the whole time for Damian Priest's partner? I thought she might go to the LWO based on the rumors that we've heard and get Rey Mysterio.
I kind of figured it was going to be Jey because. They're teasing. She's been teasing that by saying "yeet" a lot, and they're asking her about it, and so I kind of figured it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very interested to see where all that goes. The whole Judgment Day and Terror Twins, like I don't know, it feels like there's a storyline there that's just kind of like on the surface right now. That something is going to happen with that. Like I don't know. I don't know where they go with that. Like, that's going to be a tough one to book, like what those two factions do next. You can't have them feud forever. And what do they do after this? Like, where do they go from here?
That's kind of like American Made and the Wyatt Six. Where do we go from
where
here?
do we go from here?
Forever.
Yep.
Now,
what did you
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Jason. It's all good.
Oh no, go ahead. I was going to bring up something completely different.
Well, that's what I was going to do too. So that's why I was going to say. But okay, yeah, I was saying about CM Punk with that thing with Drew last night. What do you think about that segment? I think he loves to take shots at AEW as we see in the past. So he has him break up the bracelet and have him put it in his mouth, just like how the the Acclaimed had the tacks in his mouth, and then he gets rolled out on the stretcher and has him attacked on the stretcher like the Elite did to Kenny Omega. Do you guys think those were direct shots at him seeing this was 1 year anniversary from him being fired from AEW?
Oh, well then, yeah, probably.
I'm still disgusted at the whole bracelet thing over the last couple days, and CM Punk kissing it after it was seriously, we all know, resting on Drew's balls during that whole match.
Yeah, no mystery there.
I was like, did he just literally do that?
We can have an on a pole match with it. They'll do some interesting moves.
No more. I'm definitely interested to see CM Punk and Gunther feud, though. I think that's going to be a good one. I'm pretty curious to see how that goes.
What about the tease of Gunther and Kofi Kingston during that segment? When Kofi was just looking at him in the title, it was like, are they going to do something there? Or
I love Kofi. Don't get me wrong. I liked him as a champion. I was excited about it. I've got a Kofi Mania shirt somewhere, but if they were going to do one of them, I would like to be Xavier Woods. Like, I just feel like that would, I don't know. I feel like he's owed something now. He's been, the New Day's been entertaining people for so long, and Kofi's like a company guy. So is Xavier Woods. And I feel like Xavier's owed a shot at some point, like a run as champion, because it would be entertaining as hell to have him as a top champion.
Yeah. Now, during Raw last night, the one thing that I hope she's okay was that spot with Kairi Sane on the table, and her eye afterwards was that was rough. Did you see her eye after that when it was in the ring? Yeah. It was all like looked all bloodshot and bloody, worse than Dom's half bloodshot eye.
I mean, at least they didn't have it taken out by Seth Rollins like Rey Mysterio did. It took him forever to get a transplant.
But
was Jade supposed to catch it, you think?
Do what?
Was Jade supposed to catch her, half Bianca, half Jade, you think? And she just wasn't there? Because the past 2 matches from Jade, I think she's done phenomenal. Other than that one kick at the Bash of Berlin that was just a complete miss. The botches have been down. But after last night, you can't get that close to seriously injured someone, because I thought she was supposed to be on the other side catching her.
I thought she was too. Yeah, because she hit that table hard. You can tell.
I always wondered
what was supposed to happen.
You know, it's something that kind of comes up a lot in conversation, especially online. And I don't know if it's because it's women that people know it more, but people talk more about the women's matches having more botches. I'd be curious to see if that's actually true. Like if we did an empirical analysis of it and counted them, if that was true. I would say so, just because I've watched a lot of women's wrestling. And if that's true, is it because of a gap in training? Are they not getting the same training as the men? Like, I'm curious how all that would work out.
I think it's probably the lack of training, because during the Vince era, they didn't have really the training, because Vince didn't really care about the women's side as much. So they didn't have a real female trainer. They were still training with the guys until Natalya started taking some of them under her wing and training them at the Performance Center and all that.
Yeah,
I think a big thing too we got to look at is the booking of the women's division, because it still really has not gotten all that better in this new administration. Because look at when we have matches like Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax. Come on, like that's just, you can't. It depends on who you work with a lot, because a lot of the women's matches are good, I think, but a lot of them just are based on who you match them up with, because just the physical traits of some people don't match up to others.
I think NXT handles the women's division better. I'm sure that's probably not even debatable. I'm sure most would agree on that, but maybe they rushed them up to the main roster too quick. I don't know.
Nah.
What are we doing with Kiana James? We rushed her up there, and what have we seen her on TV? A handful of times since the draft?
Exactly. Yeah.
Tegan Knox, where's she?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Supposedly Raquel's coming back soon. I know she had the skin issue there. I don't know exactly what it was, but supposedly she's coming back soon. So
speaking of women's divisions, we talked about No Mercy and didn't bring up the big one.
Oh, Julia, yeah.
Yep, Julia appearance, which everyone knew she was coming out, because there was rumors earlier in the day that they were doing a run through and one of the producers was standing in for her, and they were playing generic music and going through it. So everyone was like, what's happening? They didn't know who it was that was actually coming, but we all knew it was going to be Julia.
Yeah.
I didn't like on NXT. They basically, I like surprises. Don't tease it just to get ratings. You're WWE. You're gonna get ratings regardless. So when they had the standoff of the interview with Jada Parker and Roxanne, they start looking over and say, "Oh yeah, you want some too? We'll give you some," or whatever she said. Don't do that to us. Just have us go with the surprise. You guys are gonna do good ratings regardless. You're WWE.
Yeah,
exactly. I think. I'm definitely curious to see how she goes over with the main audience. I know Sean is super high on her, so like I'm super stoked about it. Like I've read that he's super into her, but the same with what's her name,
Stephanie Vacker,
yeah,
and now Delta too from is that Japan?
Yeah,
she got signed. So
I think she might have been where Rhea Ripley was from in Australia, that wrestling promotion.
But I think if someone's going to take Roxanne's title, the fact that she's debuted already and all that, I think she's probably the one. It'll probably happen sooner rather than later, and they can get her moved up.
Do you think we'll see interference from Stephanie possibly, and then they have a triple threat possibly coming up at the next PLE? They do it at like the Julia Roxanne match at one of the two kickoff nights at NXT. Probably whichever one goes up against Title Tuesday would be my guess, but.
I mean,
this company loves triple threat matches.
I was going to say we haven't seen a triple threat match in a while. I mean, why not?
Yeah,
it's been not even 24 hours. Like,
and we saw multiple.
Who do we think is going to be the IC contender?
Oh, Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100% Jey Uso.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
I think Braun's going to have a good run though. I don't think they're going to take it off of him anytime soon.
They need to give Jey a singles title, but I want to see Jey as a singles champion.
Yeah, because I mean, before we get into the Bloodline storyline, like it'd be cool to let him have something before we move along, and then get into that. Like it'd be good. And he's super over, major merch seller. Like, yeah. Speaking of merch,
Rhea was even wearing his shirt yesterday after Raw on Instagram.
I did not save that file. Oh, I don't have it anywhere. But speaking of merch, how much did we
I saw it in the sub. I saw it in the sub.
Okay, good.
Yep, that size.
What was it? What did I miss?
Is it still sold out?
It's an LA Knight shirt.
Is it?
Have you not seen it? Oh
no.
It is the greatest shirt in the history of mankind. And it sold out like right after it. It went on sale like that night, and it went on sale immediately. It's go to WWE shop and look up LA Knight crossing the Delaware. Oh, it's back up again. Okay, I need to order.
Oh, they did a print of that too.
Oh, really?
They did a picture of it. Yeah, they did a print that they were selling. I saw the print. I didn't know they made a T-shirt.
Yeah, they don't have the print on the store, but the shirt is back on sale. It was sold out like forever, but it looks like it's back on sale now. So yeah, I'm gonna have to order that. The 4s and the 5s are not available, but small through 3X it has. Shipping October 11th. That's how popular it was.
Yeah, they got to do a campaign or something to make more if that's the case, I would guess.
Yeah, so there we go. All right, so I think that's everything I had for today. Did you guys have anything else before we head out?
One quick note. Did y'all see Scripps was on Ring of Honor?
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah,
I missed that.
Okay, let's see where we go from here tonight on NXT. Looks to be a good show, so I'm excited to see where we go from here and what's next. Always after a pay-per-view, a lot of times storylines will either reset and be really good, or it'll be kind of lull for a little bit. But I think NXT has got a good point right now with their champions that I think moving forward, I think it's going to be really strong. So I'm really looking forward to tonight.
It's going to be a good show.
Because we have no PLEs on NXT till Halloween Havoc, correct?
Yeah.
Other than the two debut shows on CW coming up in October.
Yep.
So I guess we'll be holding out until then. So yeah, if that's all we have today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us and being here today. And It's been an exciting week in WWE. A lot of good shows. Go rewatch the pay-per-views if you haven't seen them yet, and go enjoy some NXT tonight, which should be starting here in about an hour and a half. So little downtime, and enjoy your week.